Hey guys, I figured since I'm in a little bit of a zone right now, I might as well do a little catch up, share some potential insight with whomever may need it right now. If anybody's been like battling serious depression or experiencing what can be referred to as that dark night of the soul, just shout out that you're not alone. It's been really intense times. COVID was like, some people might mark that as the beginning. It wasn't. We know that. A lot of us. The United Souls, or United State of Being, gotta ing it, action phase, right? To be or not to be. I choose to live free, right? Spiritual war, that's a real thing. It's something that many of us have been battling for a long time on the front lines. Basically, the way I see it, where we're at is we're crashing down that old system that just needs to go, right? A lot of us know better by now, like what works, what doesn't. Simplest thing to be said about anything, like that old, it's kind of got a little bit of a cheesy ring to it, but it's right at the heart. It's the simplest line that can best suit every single one of us, and that is to be the change you want to see. The conformity and the hierarchy, I refer to it as an illusionary hierarchy, because strength really does lie in numbers. And when we boil it down, break it down to the heart of the matter, it's the masses, it's us, it's people that just want to live their days peacefully, literally. How many wars have we fought as a human species? How many of you can honestly say, whether or not you recollect it, that you've been here before? Reincarnation, I've always been a firm knower of that, Once upon a time, I met a man who said to me, he's like, to believe is to be deceived. Now, that's only half true, because half belief is half a being. And I got a new thing, and I apologize kinda right now. Any parents, like, maybe cover your kids' ears if you want to keep the lies up to par, but something I've been thinking for a bit now, it's like, rather than raising our children to believe in Santa Claus, we should be encouraging them to believe more in themselves. And this man I crossed paths with a while back now. It was actually in like one of the peaks of, you know, these past 5 years, and a lot of the change that's been happening with many of us. You know, like an awakening, a reawakening into self, into beginning to maybe ask the right questions. Waking up to activate. We're coming into the age of Aquarius, right? I don't know a lot about it, but what I feel, what I think I know, is that it's all working towards us becoming our better selves. It's like, he who wanders this wasteland, or they who wander this wasteland in search of their better self, the journey into self-knowing, realizations, taking and integrating them as our actualization. You know, like, I believe that we all have a common purpose. I believe that all life, every single living organism, has one common purpose. And it's really fucking simple. But it's not very easy. That was another thing that my buddy, who I'll eternally refer to him in my mind as JC. It's, I don't know, he's such a beautiful man. Like, old soul, ascended master, through the scales and back again. The tests of time. I like how Dolores Cannon puts it, you know, communing with some galactical neighbors of ours, galactical beings, and how she's like, many of them say the same thing, you know, like, here we are, humans, the only species and beings in the entire galaxy that have successfully managed to create a measuring system that measures something that doesn't exist. And it's time. I kind of want to add to that, though, a little bit. Like, absolutely, you know, master your now, right? When I ran my personal training business on the West Coast here in Canada, I had a quote that I wrote on the back of a lot of my business cards, and it read, "Master yourself. The rest is easy. And that's still very, very true. Oops. Haha, there's one for you. So my daughter and me are driving home from a family reunion. Our ball tournament May long weekend. Hi guys. I missed you this year. I don't know why we chose to feed into the fear, because, you know, many of us are beginning to see so much more clear. It's not what it's about, right? Break it down. If we are true and, you know, real, peel back the facades and just be who you are inside your truth, what you know of it, and to be real and straight up, honest, respectful to the journey. Should have nothing to fear, and it's safe to say that you're free. There's this one app I like to use. It's an angel divination angel oracle, and it's really, really beautifully put together. You know, there's like the angel of gratitude, the angel of forgiveness, the angel of hope, the angel of self realization, the angel of awakening. You know, angels of like all these great virtues and great attributes that hopefully we're all beginning to integrate and upgrade our genetics, our DNA. We're shifting code. Absolutely honor where we've been, where we come from, our ancestors. Make room for the new. You know, like, it's when we integrate all our lessons and we achieve that almighty blessing, that almighty gift that we give ourselves by walking the journey. And that's wisdom, right? When we know, when we don't just believe anymore, we actually know, we understand, we have that compassion. All this stuff that's going on, you know, like the chaos, straight up, of course you're gonna have a bunch of fucking chaos when there's order in all the wrong places and for all the wrong reasons. You know, we need to exercise our control over our responsibility and breaking it down and giving like a mad shout out and thanks and so much gratitude to the app that the creators of the program or the pattern put together. But I like the way they broke it down. You know, it's like, it's really well written, really well done. It's an app you can find on Google Play. You put in your birth information and yeah, you can be friends. So if anybody's wants to be my friend that's in my life like consistently, you know, you're able to put your patterns together in your relationships. There's so much insight there, you know, like astrologically, astrology isn't something that's man-made. You know, it's mankind observed, humankind observed. But it's a phenomenal tool, very, very valid, proven, tested, tried, true tool that we have at our fingertips in the world of information, like this internet, the interweb, right? It's reaffirming our connection to all. The separate mentality, whether it's just on an individual basis, culturally, race, country, whatever, like nothing really is separate. We are not separate. We are all connected to each other. The great web of life. It was Chief Seattle. Man did not weave the web of life. He's merely a strand in it. Whatever man does to the web, he does to himself. Oh yeah, taking a step back there, what I was saying, like all life having a common purpose. One word: fulfillment. We all want to leave this life feeling fulfilled, that we did our part, whatever that may be. And that's where it can be emphasized, the illusionary hierarchy, because every part, each and every one of us, molecularly a part of this great whole, the God self, you know, all coming from the same source. Fibonacci, right? 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, and on it goes. Parallels, different universes, parallel dimensions, existences, like I've been working on some soul retrieval, right? And one analogy that kind of it resonates well, and it fits what I've been piecing together, the great puzzle of existence, is that movie, Jet Li's The One, right? And Dolores Cannon talks about that, how we're one person, okay, one soul, and then we'll come to a fork in the road, and we make our choice. So a part of ourself will go off and live life from that choice, and then another part of ourself will go down the other fork, and that's how the parallels are created. And so what makes sense for me is like that's where the fragmenting occurs, this idea of being separate. But as we're coming back together and pulling back our pieces, retrieving these parts of soul, we become stronger and whole again. That dark night of the soul, right? Like actually facing our shadow selves, looking at those uncomfortable aspects that we haven't so much allowed the room to breathe, pushing them down, suppressing them, My philosophy on that, like as a collective whole, as a human collective whole, we get the extremes, like psychopaths or, you know, different ailments and stuff, or mentally considered mental diseases, mentally challenged, whatever, mental, get out of our fucking heads, like maybe it's time we stop reacting and simply act. And then going back to what my point on with the pattern, it said responsibility is our ability to respond. That's our work here, We're all precisely where we need to be. And it's recognizing that and then remembering and realizing, reactivating the creator within ourselves. We are co-creators of this existence. We have our collective reality, and then we have the reality that we create for ourselves. I love how I don't read other people's books. I don't want to be influenced by that. Something Dolores said, I just thought it was fucking adorable, especially as a writer. But yeah, I wanted to just kind of share some of that insight. The the extremes, right? The repressed. I had a download that I've been meaning to share a while back, and a friend at the that was with me at the time, like, I love the way you say it with such conviction, like, and it was a lot of stuff that flows through me. I can say like that, and any time I've ever wavered or experienced doubt was when there was like this forceful energy in my presence, like, prove it. It's like, I got fucking nothing to prove. I mean, none of us really. If we're going to prove anything, prove to ourselves that we are here to just be the best version of ourselves, to do our part, and be the change we want to see. Think local, like, because when we're thinking local, we're getting global. Like, we got to recognize everything that's within arm's reach. And that's where we begin to understand this concept behind magic. you know I think it's kind of funny. I took a moment to actually comment on fellow YouTuber, fellow channeler, what does she go by? Wicked, fuck, Wicked Scorpio. I'm sorry, lady. I think you're fucking beautiful. I think it's like wicked, oh, something, wicked something, tarot. Anyways, I'll find one of her videos and I'll link it here at the bottom, um, with amongst a few other links and stuff. Like, definitely check it out. Check out my Belogs. I'm gonna be getting a lot more writing done here. My first book is coming soon. I feel like I just trailed again. I'm pretty good at that, but it's important to the journey and the overall story, yeah? Um, oh yeah, okay, so I was commenting on one of her videos because she really opened up. She just fucking tore it down, and got right real. That's what I'll link. I'll go find that video and I'll link it at the bottom here. But definitely check out some of her other stuff. Like, she's a very, very strong, like, channeler to messages from within. All that stuff, like, so real. In my, like, dark night of the soul stuff, it's like I've been reaching hard because it's been a long minute inside a very drug out emotion of, like, trying to understand something that I'll probably understand many, many times over in many different ways, and each of those ways is okay. And to simply allow it to be. And, like, when we're facing those parts of ourselves that we've pushed down, like doing our shadow work, because when we face our darker selves, it's not so dark. And nothing and no one can harm us because we know thyself, right? That's Latin for know thyself. Matrix quote from the Oracle. Oh, I'm so happy right now. And I'm hoping this energy is just like getting into those corners of any of yourselves that have been challenging lately. You're doing a good job. Keep pushing forward, because the only way to ever get to wherever it is that we're going is to go through it. When we find ourselves like in repeated cycles and it's like, what the fuck, I've already done this. Why? Like, why am I doing this again? Well, what did we miss the first time? What's the lesson? You know, where is the uncomfortable feelings? That's what we need to look at. It's the healing that we've needed for a long time. You know, that the truth will always rise. Well, those things that are really uncomfortable to face sometimes, they're just going to keep coming up and coming up and coming up. Like the truth will always rise until we face them. You are loved, and I love you guys. See you next time, okay? I'm going to leave it at that. Ciao, ciao.